The biggest lie we tell ourselves that being busy means being successful. We've created a world where constant motion is mistaken for forward progress. Our obsession with productivity costs us 62% of life's meaningful moments. We're trading our stories for status updates, our legacies for likes. The busiest entrepreneurs are often least successful, and your packed calendar might be the biggest obstacle for your growth. While everyone celebrates hustle culture, the top 1% of business performers average just 4.5 focused hours per day. Can your addiction to busyness be sabotaging your success? The ones that you're working so hard to gain? We've been sold a dangerous myth that productivity equals constant activity. But a Harvard Business School research reveals that companies led by executives who prioritize deep work over busy work outperform their competition by almost a quarter in profitability and innovation metrics. How much of your daily business is actually moving your business forward versus simply keeping you occupied? Busyness costs everyone thousands of dollars a year. And over a year, that may be $100,000 vanishing because you're optimizing for activity instead of impact. By shifting from busyness to strategic effectiveness, you don't just reclaim your schedule, you fundamentally transform your business trajectory, unlocking growth and currently what seems to be impossible. I can't tell you how many times I log on to my social media networks and see people trying to talk about the hustle culture or trying to talk about grinding it out and getting it done and being proud of showing the time at 3 o'clock in the morning. Now, granted, that's part of the algorithm, but it drives me berserk. It drives me berserk because just because you're sitting in front of a computer screen or you're sitting at your office, you're sitting there for periods of time, does not mean you're doing your best work. That means you're actually doing less than your best work. I talked to a lot of friends who were in the financial industry, and they used to bring an extra jacket in with them and leave it on their seat at night. So when people came in, they would see that there was a new jacket on the seat and assume that they were there. They were proud of working hundreds of hours. In fact, at one point, I think Microsoft used to get t-shirts from the 100-hour work week. And that's just hard for you or anyone else to do in the long period of time. And in fact, maybe one of the things that was the problem was it was a 100-hour work week. You don't get any downtime to rest. You don't get any downtime to understand what needs to be done. You don't get any downtime to think about what you're doing, to let your mind process that, to look at the strategic examples. And instead, if you're going from meeting to meeting to meeting, running back and forth, you're not making good decisions. You may not be making any. And you are not becoming the individual who actually leads the group. You're becoming the individual who is just continuing on the hamster wheel of movement. If there's no one looking out saying, this is what we need to get done, and this is where we need to go, and we're thinking about it, does this make sense? At some point, just ticking ideas off your to-do list and crossing them off because they needed to do and get to the next meeting and run and do that, there is no time for thought and reflection. And that is a recipe for disaster. That is a recipe for us to stop and really not make the company go forward. There must be time for reflection. We must have the ability to let our subconscious bring up ideas. I can't tell you how many times I've been working on a challenge or a problem, trying to deal with something, and the more I work at it, the less and less I get there. But to step back and to maybe sleep on it overnight, I usually come up with that idea, or better yet, even a better one. In many ways, this hustle culture that we hear that we should be always grinding and always working is completely counterintuitive and not how we actually work. In fact, what it's doing is it gets that kind of addiction that we should continue to be working. And in all reality, all it is doing is convincing your body that you're exhausted and your cognitive ability goes down. If you're always hustling and you're not taking time to relax and refresh, that's going to make your decisions worse. That's going to make your exhaustion higher. That's going to make your frustration levels and reactivity. So taking this hustle culture and claiming that you're working hundreds of hours is really not doing you any good. And in the long run, and possibly the short run, is really stunting your decisions and, of course, affecting your health. So schedule that time to think. Schedule that time to be part of the community. Schedule that time to share ideas, because that is also very effective. And in many ways, we can create many good quality products and that without having to work hundreds of hours. In fact, when we do that, we actually see people's interest as well as their quality of life drop. And as their quality of life drop, their opinion of the company drops and their opinion of the community drops. So take a look at the culture you're having now and try and schedule some breaks. Take a walk, get some movement in your body. Schedule some time during the day where you can think about what's going on instead of just doing it. Take a break from looking down at your desk and look out to be seeing what's next. Do me a favor. Did another hustle culture meme or idea or story come to mind? If it did, put it in the comments below and let's share it together. Let's continue this conversation. I look forward to talking to you soon.
Thanks for tuning into today's episode on the Strategy Session, where we take your business from stuck to unstoppable. Here's another video I think you'd enjoy. If you found these insights valuable, remember to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell for notifications on our latest videos. Remember, you're not just marketing, you're making history with Venture Gain.